this video, my first upload from Asia, is going to include a little bit of information about where I stayed, what I did, activities, places, yoga, fun things like that. And then after I show and talk a little bit about the things I did and the places I've gone and the activities I've participated in, I'll take a few moments to share a little bit about how I felt and what I've learned, because I think that's like the alchemizing that's the most important. And then at the very end, there is a piece of spoken word poetry that I wrote and recorded on a whim, just felt pulled to it when I was sitting. So yeah, thanks for watching in advance. Sending love always. First morning in Bali. This is where we did yoga this morning, right here at the homestay hostel. It's gorgeous. There's legitimately beautiful birds, nature, art, fish, statues, temples all over. It's a little bit busy with the mopeds, the bikes. You can definitely hear that, but otherwise it was really great. And there's only 4 of us in yoga. It was awesome. And the breakfast starts, we get to choose and it's free, so we'll be eating here. And yeah. So Balinese people live on a family compound. So in this specific family compound that I stayed in, there are 3 generations of family that live on different structures within the same property. They take so much care. They sweep every day, they clean every day. And because tourism in Ubud has gotten so popular, so many of the family compounds have turned into partial homestays. So some of the rooms have gotten converted for travelers like me. There's places to eat and pools, and it's right in the center. So I was able to see temples, to go to meals where I had traditional dancing performances just like this one. And it was so cool to be able to walk around to all of these different opportunities. Their version of Uber, you can take a car or the back of like a motorcycle. And where I spent a lot of my time was the yoga barn. If you know, you know. And the yoga barn is one of the most magical places I've ever been to in my entire life. There's breath work, there's journaling, there's yoga, the physical practice, there's meditation, there's a cafe, there's ecstatic dance. You can just sit and work or journal or chill on different beanbag chairs and couches and things all over. It's huge. There's like 12 different yoga shalas. It's incredible. And I met some really amazing people. It's really close to downtown Ubud, like right off a side street. You can see lots of performances like this one while walking around. And then after my few days staying alone, I went to my yoga retreat where obviously we did yoga twice a day. Here's me practicing. While we were there, me and 11 other people from ages 20 to 70 had all of our meals together for the most part, did the different yoga activities together, and a lot of other Balinese culture activities as well. So we learned how to make Cenang offerings. We learned how to cook different foods. We spent time together learning different types of yoga, practicing, and then also talking about it. And we just spent a lot of quality time together. So it was really special. One of the excursions that we went on in the literal jungle was to a few different teeny tiny art stores where the artists were painting and selling their art as we were walking around. Here's 2 of those. I'm traveling for 6.5 months, so I can't buy the art and bring it with me, and I actually haven't bought anything. Here is when we visited a bunch of students in a school, and then as part of that excursion, I also got into the deep, deep mud and helped to plant rice in the rice paddy fields. If you know me, you know that I don't even like outside clothes touching the bed, and I was deep in the mud, so I was quite proud of myself for this whole experience. I was the only girl in my group to get in, and it was honestly really fun and really cool, and it was a really exciting experience to have lunch with a bunch of other travelers at this local shop in the rice paddies after I completed this. As I mentioned, we also did some different cooking. It was vegan/vegetarian at the yoga retreat. So here, one of the staff is cutting jackfruit so that we could make in our cooking class a jackfruit curry. The fleshy part inside has this gum-like substance, which they used to use as glue to glue stuff together. So you have to put the jackfruit in water so it can solidify. And we also made chocolate from scratch. It was really yummy and pretty dark, but it was really, really good. As we were leaving, we saw this gorgeous trees situation. 2 trees on 2 separate sides of this gorge/ravine grew up and then intertwined themselves with each other, which is pretty magical. Me and some friends I made at the yoga retreat went back to Ubud Center and got a villa together. And here is me washing my hands outside before eating at a restaurant in the middle of the streets of Ubud, which was fun and exciting and a new experience. Was back at the yoga barn where I did an inversion therapy. Ask me about it if you want to know. Life-changing. We took a boat to the Gili Islands, to Gili Air specifically, and Gili Meno, where we did a snorkeling trip with these gorgeous turtles, and it was a really, really magical experience. I can't say enough about how special it was, and then we ate on the beach at Gili Meno. The Gilis are technically part of Lombok, a larger island outside of Bali. Sitting here on the beach in Gili Air and was just looking at how insanely gorgeous it is. The sunset, the water, freaking volcanoes on other islands nearby, and like laughter of children and people just enjoying. And as I walked into the water and like the water so clear, could see little sea creatures, picked up a crab, put it back. I was just sort of overcome with emotion of how gorgeous this planet is. If we open our eyes, I mean, it's obvious to like a sunset, but just feeling so connected to the plants and the animals and everything. I mean, there was like a dying bee and I literally picked it up and put it outside instead of smashing it. Who is this girl? I don't know. I just feel like some of the experiences I've been having and the awakenings that I've been awakening to have made it feel really obvious that this life is so full of love and so full of beauty. And if we stop rushing around so much to check off the checklist of seeing things and just sit for a while and just be, then you get to see gloriousness like this. And it's just so incredible. I don't even know if this video you can hear because the waves are so loud, but it's just really spectacular if we can love it. And sometimes you're somewhere that you don't like. The vibes don't feel right. Something is off, and yet you can find the beauty in it. When we first arrived, I was feeling it was rainy, it was wet, it was dark. The call to prayer from the mosque is 5 times a day, and it's not something that I'm used to. I respect that they haven't changed for tourists and they're keeping their religion, but it's a little bit jarring if you're not used to it. So I don't know. I was just feeling a little bit iffy about being here. But there's something so special about just being on an island where, like, you can see an island that way and you can see an island that way, and that mountain, which I don't know how to point to back there, is a whole different one. And I just think that that's freaking amazing. It has been some yoga, some food, a variety of different activities. We lost power on the entire island from some rain earlier today. No phones worked, nothing. We're supposed to check out of our yoga hotel, hostel, retreat center tomorrow. So we were going to walk around to different places and just ask them, do you have availability for tomorrow? Because nothing could load on our phones. Found a place with a generator, with Wi-Fi, got sorted. I suppose that's a part of the adventure. Not something that I'm typically used to, but got it sorted. Today is my last day in a room with no AC and a shower and bathroom shared outside. Tomorrow we'll have an in-suite and hot water, really leveling up from $7 a night to $17 a night. So, coming from the villa, it was abrupt, but it's been amazing, and people have been so nice and so helpful, and really sweet. And another thing, this is the first time that I can think of in maybe a decade or two that I have no polish on my hands and no polish on my toes. Got a pedicure and no color. I feel kind of naked, but also very au naturel. Partly because I just wanted my body to breathe from constant gel and all the things. And also it's expensive, even though it's only $5 or $10 here. There's $100 in the US for some of the fancy designs I was getting. So I'm going au naturel. I've only worn makeup one time in the past 2.5 weeks. So really just trying to be comfortable with myself, completely natural, love myself completely natural, and not need all of those things to feel happy when I look in the mirror. I'm still working on it for sure. When we left the bar restaurant and I was like, oh, I don't even have mascara on. I feel so weird and naked, at a speakeasy and a restaurant. But then I was like, you know what? I have to learn to love exactly as I am. And yeah, when there's a wedding, I'll get my hair and makeup done for sure. But I don't need that. I'm on an island. I'm me, and the beauty of this planet. Sometimes it's just it's emotional. It's sad that humans are kind of fucking it up a little bit, but it's freaking amazing. Look at that. It's a volcano. It's amazing. And then I was off, back by myself, traveling to another island called Nusa Penida. It was some really incredible scenery, some really crazy hikes that I did down the side of the cliff to get to that beach. Yup, I became one of those little ants at the bottom, and it was literally scaling the side of this cliff rock formation. You can't call it a path, you can't call it steps. It was like a grabbing onto rocks and pieces of wood that they had nailed there, and ropes and limbs and who knows what. Spent a few hours and then walked back up, climbed, I suppose, back up for sunset, which was amazing. And after a few days there, I was back to Ubud. Really chill, nice time in Nusa Penida, but I wanted my last few days of cafe time, yoga, reconnected with my buddies that I was spending time with. Had some really delicious vegan and vegetarian food for a few more days, and went to a one-day festival where we did a lot of breath work, meditation, yoga, dancing, 2 kirtans in one day. Here's the first one and here's the second one. And it was really emotional, like crying, so amazing. Woo! So I feel like people have been asking for the past 5 weeks, when are you gonna post things? Why aren't you posting? We want to see your pictures. And I really appreciate that so much. I know it comes from a place of love. And also the place that I've been in right now has really been one where I'm really trying to spend some time questioning what I want, what I need, what I like, what I don't like the conditioning of my whole life. And one of the reasons that I came on this initial travel, because it's not a holiday, it's not a vacation, like I have really serious goals and routines that I take really seriously. This is not spring break. One of the big things was like, you don't know what you don't know. When I was in grad school at Harvard, I took one of these classes in the beginning where she showed a chart of like these 4 quadrants. You know what you know. Like, I know that I know about education or yoga or myself or whatever. And you know what you don't know. I don't know about astrophysics. And then you don't know what you know. Like, you don't realize until someone starts, for me speaking in Spanish, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can understand, I can converse. I forgot that I knew that. And then the 4th quadrant is DK. You don't know what you don't know. And that was a big reason for starting these travels, especially the fact of like having to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, being alone, because you don't know what you don't know. There are so many experiences that I've had that I'm like, the last 27 years, 28 years of my life, I didn't even know that a person could know this or do that. I didn't even know that like breathing and holding hands with strangers could make you scream and cry and roar in a room with 80 other people doing the same thing and could be life-changing. I didn't even know that dancing or singing in another language with a bunch of random strangers could bring me a kind of like peace to humanity that I didn't think was possible. And so I've had these experiences where I'm like, you don't even know what you don't know. And it's been like a really amazing experience to have a bunch of these opportunities. And I didn't feel ready to spend the time to like perfectly curate exactly which photos, exactly which videos, and perfectly articulate into words some of these, maybe you can hear the thunder, some of these like feelings and changes and essences. Like, I just didn't feel like I wanted to put the time and energy into stepping out of the reality that I'm experiencing to like curate this perfect social media thing. So obviously people that have been asking, I've been sending some photos and videos, and I really appreciate how much you care about me. But that's why I haven't really been posting anything, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this, I'm in this like chrysalis cocoon stage of the caterpillar, and I'm like working on the strength and the experiences and like the alchemizing to be strong enough to break out and be the butterfly. And I know that might be like kind of a cliche metaphor, but it's been like really mind-blowing for me to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, in inconvenience of like, sometimes I have to walk in the literal jungle to use the bathroom, which is like kind of outside in its own little unit, or to brush my teeth when there's like geckos and bugs and cats and whatever running around. And grappling with like the difference of loneliness and being alone. I love being alone. And people who have known me for like the first two and a half decades of my life, Sadie's so outgoing, she's such an extrovert, yada, yada, yada. I'm like such an ambivert, sometimes such an introvert now. I love JOMO, the joy of missing out. Sometimes I'm so proud of myself for saying no to plans because I don't want to be on a time constraint. I don't want to be super energetic. I want to wander the streets all alone, and I want to sit in a random cafe for 2 hours, and then I want to wander and sit in another random cafe for 2 hours, and I just want to sit there and journal and stare and read a book that I pick up off of a shelf and talk to some random stranger for 3 hours, which I've done on multiple occasions and like made these random friends that I've then seen in other cities. It's crazy how that like happens to so many travelers. And people are like, wow, you're so brave for backpacking all alone by yourself in Asia and yada yada. But really, I don't think it's about bravery. I think it's about a willingness and a determination to sit in the uncomfortable. Because I don't know if it takes a lot of courage and bravery as much as it takes like a willingness to just get out of your comfort zone. And sure, okay, fine, maybe like that takes some bravery, but for me, it's not brave to go to bed knowing that there's bugs and geckos in my literal room. That's just like, I have to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I think it's about like newness and inconvenience. And honestly, there's a level of irony when I'm like sleeping in a place that costs $7 and then going to use my $300 toothbrush. And staying in a place that I'm like taking the hotel shampoo, but I used my Platinum Amex to stay with points. There's like a weird trying to reconcile strangeness of like, I'm not poor, but I'm not rich. I have money, but if I blow through it, then I won't have any. And I don't want to be, like, time is money. I don't want to be enslaved to a job, to a time every day. I want my freedom. And if I want to keep that freedom, I have to be careful of my money. So that means, like, eating the free hotel breakfast as much as I can, or waiting till lunch sometimes if I miss it. And then maybe that gives me the opportunity to like ball out a little bit at dinner, which means that I spent $15 instead of $3. But you can get really amazing 25-cent samosas. So it's a give and take. And like I said in the beginning of this, you just saw some clips of video of places I went, things I was doing, things I was seeing, etc., etc. But I think there's something really important to be said about like the habits and the feelings that I had before, as well as the habits and the feelings that I'm having now. And I think I had a lot of habits that were like second nature in my brain about how I was spending my time and energy and money. And judgment. I have never, when I was in Ubud, I have never been in a place so free from judgment. It made me want to cry of pure joy. In the same restaurant, hotel kind of place, you've got people of every age, dating people of every age, sitting in this bar from dressed up to dressed down, with kids running around to people with no kids and working on laptops, to singing and dancing with strangers, to vegans and meat eaters, to people from every walk of life, every country, every race, every language, every age, every lived experience. And they're all just chilling, so joyous. They're not this person with that person, judgments, comparison. They're just like, you do you, I do me, we're all gonna chill and we're all gonna be connected and live in joy. And I have never felt a beauty like that, and I have never questioned so much the conditioning that I've had in the United States. Why have I, since middle school, had the insecurities of friends and whatever be channeled into this need for things? Why was it so important that I had the Coach wristlet and the Juicy Couture sweatsuit and the whatever? Like, for what? To be cool? To be in the in crowd? Like, I'm traveling with 2 backpacks and it feels like too much now. When I see, like, I used to do Botox, lip filler, dye my hair, wear all this makeup, especially when I lived in Miami. And now, none of it. I've drank like 1 or 2 times and I had 1 drink. I've worn makeup 1 time. My nails aren't done, my toes aren't done, and I fucking love it. It's so freeing. I hope you can hear me because the rain is really loud. But there's something so magically freeing about not feeling that I need to only love myself when there's makeup on. Only feel cool when I'm at the cool restaurants and the cool clubs. Only feel beautiful when I'm dressed to the nines, wearing whatever brands and having whatever makeup on and hair done and like the whatever beauty standards. I don't want that. I don't need that. I can look in the mirror or look at a photo, no makeup, no hair done, wearing whatever, and being like, yeah, oh my gosh, this rain's insane. Okay, I need to move, but yeah. Okay, we're back. Came inside. As I was saying, I am really trying to get to this place, and it doesn't happen all the time. Obviously, we have insecurities. Obviously, we play this comparison game, but really trying to be like happy with myself just as I am, and look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I'm the most beautiful when I'm laughing and smiling, and I don't need a bunch of other things to do that or feel that way, or like whatever the case may be. And I think a part of that judgment is also about labels. I've been eating like very, very little meat, and I'm not calling myself a vegetarian, I'm not calling myself a vegan. I don't need to go into a box. If I'm at an amazing restaurant, like today, I wanted wonton soup and there was pork dumplings. But for the most part, I've been mostly eating veggies, and for like a bunch of time was eating pretty vegan too. And I felt really great about it. It's not a thing that I feel obligated to keep. And I'm happy not wearing makeup. I'm happy not drinking. I mean, alcohol is a depressant, and I feel like I'm operating up here on this wavelength, and I don't want to feel depressed and brought down. And I've been doing all these experiences, like this really deep breath work, really serious yoga, really intense meditation, tantric practices, dance practices, active consciousness meditations, all these things that I've had these like awakenings and understandings where I'm like sobbing and crying and cheering and screaming and like things that I've never experienced before. And I don't want alcohol right now. I just feel like my vibrations, my level, my energy, I just don't need that right now. And that could change. I'm sure there'll be times that I want to, and I'm sure that when I go to friends' weddings, whatever things, I'll get my makeup done and I'll drink and blah, blah, blah. But right now, I'm just happy with not. So I'm not gonna put myself in any boxes, put on any labels. I don't need to put this judgments on myself that like, I'm a vegetarian, no. Right now, I'm just trying to go more veg. And right now, I'm not interested in drinking alcohol. And like, we don't need to be so hardcore. In the US, it's like, gotta put you in a box. What are you? What are you doing? Where do you go? Like, no. Just a human who's like doing some things, sometimes, and that should be fine. Okay, my hand's getting a little tired, so I need to find a place to put this. Okay, great. Some of the things I'm sharing are like some different journal entries, so that's why I have my iPad. Another like really eye-opening experience for me has been about like being a type A planner kind of person for the rest of my life prior to this point, and that sort of changing. If you have known me, especially in my adult years, college friends, family, etc., and you've been on a trip with me, you know the type of type A agenda that I have been planning, where it's like, okay, we've got a tour at 3 and dinner at 7, so that leaves 3 hours for spontaneous wandering. Sometimes I book where I'm gonna sleep the day before. Sometimes I have a whole week of no reservations or plans or whatever. I just wander around and I find a place. Sometimes the food is freaking incredible, and sometimes it's whatever. But I don't put this pressure on myself that I have to eat at the Michelin-starred, Lonely Planet recommended restaurants at every single stop. Why? Who cares? And it's so amazing to feel chill. Sometimes it's a little stressful. I'm like, okay, I gotta plan something because I need to go somewhere, sleep, something, like eat, whatever. But in general, it's so amazing to just freaking chill and explore and investigate. Yesterday, I just wandered around, found a place that I loved, and sat there for a while. Ate a snack, played with some puppies. It was amazing. And it wasn't on my itinerary, it wasn't boxed in, and it was freaking amazing. And mostly this is going to be the people watching this because I have like no subscribers on this channel. This isn't really for strangers. I love the people that I've accumulated in my life. And also, I was really at a time that I was interested on this trip to investigate meeting new people in new walks of life, from new places, in new experiences. And I have found that beyond my wildest dreams, and it's only been like a month. I have found people that I got a house with and stayed in a villa for a few days, that I shared a room with or a bed with and went to other islands with, because I didn't have all my travel planned. And I was like, okay, hopefully I'll meet people, go with the flow. And I did, and I love them. And we've had these experiences together, or like different experiences, and then come together for dinner and been able to cry and share about some of our deep, dark secrets. Like we've known each other for years, and it's been days. And I don't know, there's something so magical about the stage that I'm at right now and what I'm exploring right now, to find some people that feel like my people for right now. It's like really beautiful and really magical. And to dance with them and to do breathwork with them and just to talk about life, it's been really magical. You know who you are if you're watching. The note that I want to end on is about priorities. I feel like right now the US prioritizes different things than me. I don't want to prioritize money. I want to prioritize my health, my time, meaningful experiences, peace, stillness, connections to nature. And I feel like the US is like, you go to school, you get a job, and you take like a little vacation once in a while with your few days off. Why is it that like so many other countries do gap years and travel time between university and job or whatever, and it's so uncommon that I'm doing this trip right now, that it's like strange or brave or whatever? Why? It shouldn't. Why? It's beautiful and amazing and normal. This is a world. We're all humans. We all inhabit this world. It's so normal that you don't want to sit in a cubicle every day for 40 years and you want to get out there and see. I don't know what I don't know, and you want to get out there. I want to prioritize my health and my time and my energy and my passions and my love, and I don't want to be in the suburbs with a mortgage and kids and a 9-to-5 or in teaching a 7-to-3 right now. Maybe not ever, but I don't want that right now. And that's cool. That's great. That's fine. If you do, love you. You deserve whatever brings you peace in your life. And in mine, I don't want that right now. And I'm cool and I'm great and I'm happy. And it feels like with politics and like big pharma, fast food, social media, like whatever, it feels like the US in general is misaligned with my priorities. I don't want to be fueled by more greed and competition. I don't want to be pulled into capitalism and consumerism, and I don't want to feel sick and take a bunch of meds. I want to have vitamins and things from the earth, and I want to meditate like I do every single day and do my breath work every single day without fail. And when I started to feel my throat hurting, oh no, I'm getting sick, I didn't take any meds. I had soup, I had vegetables, I slept, and I told myself, you're not sick, you're just worn down. And the next day I wasn't sick anymore. Like, this is so powerful. This is so powerful. Like, why is it that we're not connected to like here and nature more? You know, like, I don't want to be in the concrete jungle. I want to be in the jungle. And I'm so blessed, especially from my parents, to be able to have this opportunity. Obviously, I'm spending my own money while I'm here, but to even have the fiscal ability to not have loans from graduate school, I owe them my life. Mom and Dad, you, obviously you're gonna watch this. I'm so beyond grateful that I'm able to be in this position, that I don't have a mortgage or small humans relying on me in a way that doesn't allow me to be here. If you are happy with your life and content, stay happy, stay in your life, stay content. But I had the perfect job at the #1 university in the world and a perfect teaching job at one of the best high schools in one of the best states. But I wasn't excited to get out of bed every single morning. Why? My apartment was great, Massachusetts was great, Harvard was great, my school at Lexington was great. And yet, I could feel something was missing. I could feel that I wasn't happy. And I felt like I just needed to get out there. And now I'm having all of these experiences where I'm not just thinking outside the box. I've thrown that box away, burned that box down, and I'm investigating, what do I want now? What do I need now? What can I learn now? What do I want to build for myself now? What do I want to contribute to this world now? And it's freaking amazing. It's amazing. I've never felt so much connection to myself, so much opportunity, so much peace, so much energy, so much excitement. I could be up at sunrise, ready to go. I would way rather spend my money on a yoga class or an experience than I would on some drinks at a bar or some fancy whatever right now. And that's where I'm at right now. And if you're watching this and you know me and you love me, I love you. And if you thought you knew my travel plans, surprise! In January, I'm actually going to India now, and I'm going to be doing 30 days or 27 days, 300-hour Kundalini yoga teacher training. When I'm done, I'll be 500 hours certified in Rishikesh, in the base of the Himalayas. And yeah, that's why you don't plan it all out, because things change, you go with the flow, you meet people, you learn things, life happens, and it's amazing. So yeah, sending so much love, so much good health, so much light, so much peace to whoever's watching this, whether you know me or not. I'm really good. I'm really great. If you were worried about me, don't be. I'm good. I'm safe. Bye. I was sitting at the yoga barn and some ideas came to me as I was reading. So I wrote a poem, and the essence of it felt like it was really a spoken word poem. So here it is. It's kind of untitled, but tentative title. It was just a poem at the USA. This is not the country I want. Civilizations rise and fall as such, and this one might too. Shocking? You think? But really, is it? How can a place so sick get healthy? Or instead must we die and be reborn anew as a phoenix from the ashes? We will never be safe. Wombs, women, no, tombs of women fill instead. We will never be safe when structures sit empty, yet we have homeless asleep on our streets. When bellies stay hungry, small humans cry themselves to sleep, yet our trees bear fruit and our garbage dumps overflow. When we are trained to believe happiness comes from stuff, yet I've found things weigh me down and I'm happiest with nothing. We cannot be post-capitalist. It still has capitalist in its essence. We will never be safe. Chop, chop, chop. When the preference is to cut trees, only to put that wood in a concrete jungle. To use water, then to pollute, to dirty air, to sell products, to remove land from our fingertips, to remove spirit from our souls. America the brave isn't brave at all, because brave would be vulnerability. It's easy to be hardened and cold, but it's hard to be connected and soft. We medicate, you, me, pharma. We medicate for baseline, for numbness. For what? You're sick because this country is sick. You're sick because you eat, sleep, drink, and tech. You don't remember the feel of fresh glass. You haven't been in a space held by sounds of strangers. You haven't been healed by the rush of water and the rush of yogic flow. We will never be safe when we live in a society of only thinkers. No, we need feelers. I need to think on it. No, I need to feel on it, because the heart is where we are safe. The heart is where there is light, fire, health, joy, pain, connection, magic. We will never be safe in a society that shuns magic, feelings, souls, energies, because then and only then we'd be free. We couldn't be manipulated, and we'd be unstoppable.